I'll remember that I mentioned that I got the Final Fantasy 6-in-1 Multicart from Aliexpress the other day and that I was going to do a follow-up video. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this and see if the save feature works and if it's any good.
Alright, we've got the cartridge here. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in on my CRT setup and let's turn it on. Alright, moving to the capture card, you can see we've got Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Mystic Quest listed here. We're going to go ahead and start taking a look at Final Fantasy 2. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and test the save feature here. Moving on, we're going to try Final Fantasy 3. Again, we're going to test the save feature for this one. Then we're going to move right into Final Fantasy 4 as it's listed, which actually looks like it's just a fan translation. And yep, the game looks the same. So I'm actually not going to try saving this one because I don't need to save two copies of the same game. Next up is Final Fantasy V. Let's go ahead and see how this one runs and saves. After a bit of an intro, we're going to go ahead and save it here now. And then we're going to go ahead and move right into what's listed as Final Fantasy VI, which is a fan translation. However, one thing I did notice is that they at least got it right by naming him Biggs and Wedge. And on to Mystic Quest, where we're going to go ahead and see if this one saves. Now we're going to go back through to see if the games actually load, and lo and behold, look at that, Final Fantasy II has a save file there. And there we have it. Game loaded, and it's running fine. And now we're going to go back to Final Fantasy III to see if that save file worked. And there we are as well. Are we going to load back into the cave? And there we are. Look at that. Our second to last save here with Final Fantasy V. And there's our data. Looking good so far for sure. And finally, we'll finish it out with Mystic Quest. There's the data as well.
So in closing, if you're a fan of bootlegs or you just don't want to pay the exorbitant fees for these games, I think this is a totally fine solution. While 3 of the games I wouldn't personally care for, 2 of them being fan translations and 1 of them being Mystic Quest, I think that if you're looking to play some of the originals from the Super Nintendo on real hardware, for $16, this can't be beat. Follow me for some more retro content where we take a look at these bootlegs and other things, and keep an eye out for this next video, it's a doozy.